Honestly, I've noticed that my main purpose at Shifters is to guide you.
Through what?
Without you knowing about it.
If I make you feel that way, I'm happy.
Okay, countdown.
Okay.
Do the countdown.
Yeah.
Do it. Do it.
Ready, set, action.
Hi everyone, welcome to episode 10 of the Quality Podcast with me, Ashkan, and my partner,
Jonas.
How are you?
I'm good.
How does it feel? The 10 podcast.
I think that was the goal to start with. I think it's fun. I think we're getting into a bit of a rhythm. Let's keep on doing it.
Yeah, so for each episode we have had a specific topic we have discussed, and sometimes we flare away, and sometimes we keep ourselves and the conversation about the topic. Today we're gonna discuss something very interesting, AI, like always. So, but we're gonna have, because we found an article on one of the newspapers or digital newspapers, or actually I think they are physical as well. In Ny Technique that was super interesting. It was posted 2 days ago, 14th of April, about AI and the cost of it and the energy consumption. But before we go into cost and we have discussed AI before.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to start with the benefits, and then we're going into the a bit more boring part, maybe the energy consumption, the cost of it, what do we need to do to make AI a commodity. So we start off AI and test automation.
Again, like AI, it's a hard topic to talk about. There's a lot of really smart people working with it. I don't consider myself one of them, but hopefully we can annoy someone that can maybe meet us and put us in place regarding AI. That would be cool to have.
We can invite them to our podcast.
Yeah, let's do it. I think that's a fun idea. So ask the question again.
So basically, what I want you to do, what we're going to start with, I want us to, because I know we use AI in Shifters. A lot of our customers and people out there want to see more AI, more AI. But there are some restrictions. So, guide us through a little bit, how we use AI, first of all. And then, because in Swedish we call it hantverk. What's in it in English? It's, it's creating tests. It's a very delicate process. So how can we connect that with AI, and what challenges do you see there?
I keep talking. I think maybe I said that in some previous podcasts where I see testing as something pretty defined. You can do exploratory testing where you try and like you just walk around, try some stuff just to see if it works or if it sticks, or if you can do improvements on top of it. But for the type of testing that we mostly focus on, which is validating that things work as we expect it to, and many would call it regression testing, that kind of testing is very much similar, I think, to if you are in a lab. Like let's say that you're creating your new a new vaccine or a new medicine of any kind. I'm not a specialist, but what I've seen on TV is that you have those petri dishes, and then you introduce the bacteria or the virus, and then you want to introduce a set amount of other materials or viruses or medicines, but you want to be very precise in what you introduce, so you know what worked and didn't work. And I guess this is probably a very simplified way of looking at it. But if you just throw anything into it, You might get penicillin, but most of the time you get probably nothing. So when you do testing, we want to work in the first previous version, where we have a very, very set requirement of what we are looking for when we are testing. And we want to be able to do that automated for multiple times. And if it doesn't work, then the product, there's something wrong with the product. And that's what I think is how we look into what we do, and that's why I think that AI is hard to fit into this to this category of testing, because I think most of us today have tried creating a prompt or asking AI at least something, or seen it working on TV or something. It's like if you ask the same AI the exact same question twice, you're not going to get the same answer. And as a matter of fact, I think this is a bit dated, the data that I'm going to say, but it was fact a few months ago. It was that if you asked an AI a medical question, it was 48% right and 52% wrong. So if you ask a question twice, the same question twice, you should actually get one wrong and one right. It's probably going to, it answers the answer generated pretty large, but you can't just take it to face value and just use it. So that's why I don't think we are there yet to use AI. I think it's how we use it though. We use it more as a tool to help us be more effective, to be able to help out. We test AI. So we validate drifting, we validate that kind of stuff. But I think the most promising thing that we've been working with is how we can improve our platform and how we can help our customer when it comes to maintenance and healing of tests. So we don't let it code on its own, but we're letting it propose solutions to issues that we have, and propose improvements on the test as well. So I think, that was a long answer to you.
No, very good answer. And I think, something we have discussed is also, leveraging AI in predicting or creating new test use cases based on how does people interact with the platform. And based on that, creating different test use cases. It's super interesting. I think, we can spend an entire podcast to talk about all the benefits of AI. What we're going to discuss today is something that, it is discussed, but not that broad, and it doesn't get that breakthrough that it actually deserves, is the amount of energy that AI needs to be able to perform. And I think in the article that we found, what they're mentioning is that in 2027, if nothing changes with AI, the consumption is not the consumption, but the AI model looks the same. It will consume as much energy as Sweden or Argentina or the Netherlands. That's crazy. Okay, that's super crazy. If you look at what they have discussed here, they mentioned 0.19 kilowatt hour. Every prompt to an AI is equal to 40 mobile charging.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I write the question, a prompt, that equals 40 mobiles I'm charging.
Yeah.
Okay, something I want us, so it's obvious it's demanding a lot of resources. I think it was one of the highest or one of the biggest energy firms in UK, United Kingdom, that went out and said, thanks to AI, we are on maximal level right now in energy consumption. So what are your views? This part of AI is not that discussed broadly, there are people doing calculations on this, but what is your view on that?
Yeah, I think it's funny. It was one of the biggest reasons for not, one of the biggest reasons, or objections against Bitcoin and crypto. But now it's not something that we talk about. I think maybe, or probably because the benefits are so much broader and so much easier to use, but or it's more for the general public using AI. I think every new technology needs to go through improvements. Nothing hits the market perfect. Look at what the computers were in the early 2000s or even earlier. Like you accepted pretty much anything. If the computer could crash anytime and your essay got thrown away, so you had to rewrite it all like from the beginning. And that was
or my dog ate.
Yeah, exactly. That one was used a lot, I think, in school. But I mean, like that was, and it happened. Today, it's not an issue. Your computer barely crashes. I don't think that's something that people talk about even anymore. So we go through all these steps. Everything goes through, and at the end of the day, I think AI is probably going to be the reason for us solving the climate problem, because it's going to it's helping so many people to be creative, to do things that they wouldn't be able to do without AI. So I think we just need to pass through this, manage and solve it, and solve the different issues that we see. Now it's energy consumption, I think, and because we are so big models that cost a lot of money and energy to maintain and to run. But I know that Apple is looking into creating smaller models that can run on mobile devices. So there is work being done here, and I think it is going to be, we're going to see improvements. So for sure.
In regards to improvements, okay, scientists are concluding based on the data, and I think it's still super early to say something, but based on the data and the simulations, what they estimate is that for the training of the AI model, the implementation phase, you're able to save up to 70 to 80% of the energy consumption.
Yeah, they keep saying that it's the training that takes a lot of energy and not the prompts. But apparently, looking at this,
that's what I'm meaning. So even though we improve 70 to 80%, we still have the 40 mobile charging stations per prompt. And like, just to estimate, how many prompts a day do you write?
Whoa, I have no idea. Probably hundreds.
Okay, hundreds. So 400 mobile phones on one person that are using AI. I think we have a long way to go, but we will get there, like everything else. I just think it's super interesting that this part of AI is not discussed. Now, I don't want to get into politicals, but I think it is because it benefits so many people in so many instances.
But I don't think it's really a problem. Like if you're a climate activist, probably you do. But I think, like I said, you need to pass through this hurdle. We just proved that AI is something that can change a lot of people's lives. I mean, we needed to prove that. Now we can start optimizing and creating better solutions. Mm-hmm. But until ChatGPT was released the fall to 2022, right? It was, no one thought that was really possible. AI was just these machines that walked around killed us in Terminator, or it was a really abstract thing, and now we actually can see what it can do and the possibilities, and I think we needed to get to that. So I think I don't see an issue with it. I think.
What do you see, to conclude this discussion, what do you see as needed, what is needed to get over this hurdle?
More development.
More development, more companies using AI, or?
Yeah, I think so. And maybe I think I don't know that much of the history of OpenAI, but I think they started as a kind of an open source initiative, and then they switched, and now with Microsoft they are probably mostly proprietary. So I think the open source models are going to make a big difference. I think because as long as it is, we have a few big players that have the money and the resources to spend money on creating the models, we are only going to focus on a set of problems. Mm-hmm. The open source models are going to make it so that people with different problems can address it and try to figure out new solutions. So I hope to see a bigger open source community growing. I hope to see more investments in it. I hope that we don't see only 5 players that are gonna own the market. Yeah. That would be really sad. But otherwise, really looking forward to see what's happening.
But also, how do you view all these startup companies that builds a business based on, for example, OpenAI, ChatGPT? How much do you think they will contribute to the innovation part, or are they just using the service and are in the hands of OpenAI for new innovation?
I have had this discussion a lot with a friend. You know who you are, but we've been discussing this, and like at the end of the day, it's super expensive to create your own model. So to be able to test your hypothesis, that you can build a business on top of something, I think it's great. But I think again, the open source models are probably going to be the thing that make it, so we can create viable businesses. Like you said, let's say that OpenAI decides to double their pricing. This needs to be transferred to the customers of the new company. At some point, it's going to be impossible to make money for these companies if they start increasing the price. So, but again, I think there are open source models out there that are really good. Probably not as good as the proprietary ones, but I think there is going to be a level of when the cost passes a level that it's going to be worth starting a new company that just basically gives you a ChatGPT but based off of the open source models. So and I think OpenAI, Google, they know this, so they're very, very precise in how they charge. So they're very aware.
Very good. You know what? We have been discussing for approximately 20 minutes now. So thank you so much, Jonas. I really appreciate it. I think this is a super interesting topic, especially when we are starting to look at it from different, angles. And I think we are still in the very early days, and also still early days when it comes to cryptocurrency, bitcoins, etc. You know how much I like that space as well. But anyhow, thank you for watching or listening. Please like and subscribe, and see you next month. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.